Hey guys, this is Alex703 Rockstar, and I am back with another review of an album I bought in Spain by a Spanish artist, and it is hip-hop group SFDK's 2001 Odisea en el Lodo. And SFDK stands for a bunch of things. They've changed what it means over their career plenty of times. Originally it meant straight from the cranny, but as they became more famous in Spain, they wanted to have it be in Spanish, so it means siempre fuertes en la cabeza, which is always strong of the mind, or siempre fuertes el cas, which means a similar thing. Not really a direct translation for it, but it's sort of the soul. And 2001 Odisea en el Lodo means 2001 Odyssey in the mud. And this is an album that propelled them to extremely high status in Spain. Before this, they were sort of an underground rap group, and since this, they've been sort of one of the premier rap groups in Spanish hip-hop. It's two members, MC Zatu, who is the rapper, and Accion Sanchez, who's the producer. Zatu is a man called Saturnino Rey, which is a very old-fashioned name, but he's from Seville, and his accent from there works perfectly because it's an accent where you can tell where he's not just Spanish, you can tell he's Andalusian, but it's also not so strong that you can't understand him, because I've been down there and there are some people you can't fucking understand. And he's incredible on this album. It's their third album, and their first two were good, but on those two albums he spends a lot of time just trying to act cool, sometimes trying to act too gangsta, you know, falling into rap cliches essentially. But on this one he just completely ditches that and decides to just go and go for the wordplay and go make an album and make some raps to the best of his abilities, and it turns out fantastic here. Some of the wordplay here is incredible, and unfortunately I can't translate it because, you know, it doesn't translate well into English. It's because it doesn't rhyme. The wordplays, you know, words that have two meanings in Spanish don't necessarily have two meanings in English, so it doesn't work out. But just trust me on the fact that the wordplay is incredible and his flow is so good on this album. It's incredible. But Accion Sanchez might even top him as a producer. His productions are so incredible on this album. He can control the mood of each song like no one I've ever heard, except maybe, you know, the RZA or J Dilla. You know, really good producers are the only ones that can sort of top him. His beats are so catchy on every song, yet they're also extremely intricate. They're not simple. He uses a lot of different samples that you can't tell unless you listen to it 3 or 4 times. He uses piano loops, horns, and by the way, the time horns are used best are on the best song on this album, which is El Liricista en el Tejado, which is translated roughly to The Lyricist on the Roof, where the production on that song is probably one of my favorite beats of all time. But he's able to control the flow so well, and he's able to match Zatu's voice so perfectly on this that it just works out. It's just the perfect combination. And the reason I also mentioned this is because on other albums they don't have such a perfect combination. On other albums sometimes his bass tends to undermine Zatu's voice, but you know, that's a problem for the other albums. The guest appearances on this are all quite good. I don't like the order that they're in. There's one on the first proper song, and then you have to wait 9 more songs until the next one, and then there are about 3 or 4 packed in at the end, and I don't like that. It disrupts the flow a little, but that's really one of my only complaints on this album. If you're getting into Spanish hip-hop, this should be probably the first thing you check out, in my opinion. It's not really an underground album or anything, but it's one of the best, you know, mainstream releases in modern hip-hop that I've ever heard, to be honest. And oh, by the way, with the guest appearances, there's actually one in English by Promo, a guy who I'd never heard of before this. He's actually quite good though. Here's some of the album artwork. It's nothing special, you know, some drawings, some you know, some fake advertisements. You know, this style of drawing and everything was popular here around the late 90s, Limp Bizkit style. So of course it hit Spain a couple years later. This album was released in 2001 on Duro Records. Incredible. 9 out of 10. This album is practically unbeatable in Spanish hip hop. See you guys later.